So today I'm going to be attempting my first ever unboxing video, and with me I've got the Claymore Capon 120H torch to unbox. So let's get straight on with it and see what we got inside. Firstly, it comes in a nice little carry bag. Probably wouldn't use that out and about when actually camping or hiking, but it's quite handy for storing bits in when you get home. So you got the actual Capon itself. We'll come back to that in a second, and we also have a USB to USB-C charging cable, and there is a little black carabiner as well. So initial impressions is this is a really lightweight little unit. It weighs in at 58 grams. As you can see, it's pretty small and compact. It's made of a plastic, but it feels really tough and durable, and it's also IP54 rated, which means it's dust and waterproof rated. And then it's got your USB-C charging port just in the side here, and then on the top you've got your buttons here to power on and change light modes and to dim the brightness of the torch. And another little feature that I'm not quite sure about yet, but it's got a motion sensor. So I'm going to have a play around with that and actually see how that's beneficial. But one of the things that I really like most about this torch, and what kind of makes it quite unique compared to your traditional headlamp, is that it can stand, it can clip onto a cap or onto a bag strap, or it's also got this little hook here which we grab the carabiner again and clip onto. So you can clip it onto maybe a branch above you if you're making coffee in the woods, or even the top of your tent. So yeah, it's a pretty versatile lamp, and I think that is probably its biggest selling point. So looking at the main feature here, obviously the lights, we've got lights on the front here, and we've got a little light here as well. So this little light has 4 different light modes. You've got focused, diffused, which is your red light, flood, and an SOS mode, which I reckon the best thing to do now is to turn off the lights and actually see these in action. So let's get those lights off. This light setting here is your flood mode, and we'll go through them one by one. Before we do though, if you hold down the power button, it dims the light, or we can brighten it all the way up till we get to this point. So this here is your focus mode for a directional light that's going to be aimed at exactly what you're doing or where you're heading. We press this again and we have our diffused red light. So this one is great for when you're around camp or waking up in the middle of the night and you just need to find something in your tent. It's also great for not blinding all your friends around the campsite. It'll be much appreciated if you use this instead of the focus one. Now what I'm trying to do here is actually work out how to turn the SOS mode, which you think should be pretty simple to find if you needed it in an emergency, but I'm struggling a little bit here, so let's keep going. Give me a minute, I just got to wear this. Right, so I got there in the end. Admittedly, I did have to Google it to find out how to do it, but this is the SOS mode, and I believe it works on all the different light settings. So this is on the focused, that is on the red light, and then we should have the flood next. So now I've worked out how to do the SOS mode, let us get the lights back on and I will show you how to do it. So first of all, you want to make sure your light is on, and then you press and hold the power button for 2 seconds, and that activates the SOS mode on this light. And you can, as I said before, filter through the different light settings if you want to for the SOS mode. And to turn it off again, just press that power button once and it goes back onto your standard light mode. Now this is the other feature which I'm a bit unsure about when it's going to be beneficial, but I can think of a few use cases now. So again, with the torch on, we have this button here to change through the light settings, but if you were to hold that as well for 2 seconds, that turns on the motion sensor on the light, and that's indicated by this little red light here. So with the motion sensor activated, as you can see, we've got the little sensor here on the side, and if I'm to swipe my finger across it, oh, that turns off the light. And to turn it back on, I feel this is probably quite a niche feature, but I can see some benefits with it. If you're doing something where you've got really grubby hands, maybe you're covered in mud or something else that you don't really want to get over your light, then using the motion sensor allows you to switch it on and off without actually touching the device. So that is pretty cool. And again, to turn that feature off, you just press that second button there, hold it for a few seconds, and you're back. So there are all the controls and how you use this little lamp, but I think we should actually have a look at some proper use cases of this. So I'm going to try and clip it onto my hat. It's quite a tight little clip here to slide on, which is obviously good because it means it's not going to fall off. So as you can see, it fits really securely on your hat. That's not going anywhere, and it's pretty handy in place of a head torch, so you can just wear your hat without having to worry about a torch separately, which is, I think, pretty cool. I think I'll use that more than a head torch. You can change the direction of it and aim it down, and it does go all the way back. Before I do that and blind myself, I'm just going to change to this light setting, so you can use that floodlight as well. So if you're doing something beneath you, you can see exactly what you're doing. The little stand itself is really handy. I guess probably the best use case for this would be if you're chopping up food for dinner at your campsite, or you're just doing something fiddly that you need a light stood by you. And then finally, the Carabiner is going to be pretty handy for just clipping it to a bag quickly or hanging it up in different places. So I guess all that's left to do now is to give you my verdict on whether or not I think this is worth the £40 price tag. I think it is. When you compare it to sort of an entry-level headlamp, it's pretty comparable, but it's got much more versatility to it and mounting options. I guess one of the downsides is I really like it because I can clip it to a cap, but if you're not a person that likes wearing a cap, then you know that isn't as much of a selling point. But it can clip to a bag strap or to a variety of different other items. So you might find it fits onto a beanie or onto something else. But for me, the cap was a big selling point. Having just unboxed this, I've obviously not used it out in the field on a camping trip or hiking yet, but I do have a trip coming up this weekend, so I'm going to give it a good test then. If you'd like me to let you know how that went on, just let me know, and I'll make a video review of it actually out and about once I've had some hands-on experience with it. Equally, if you've used this like yourself, let me know how you've gone with it, if there's anything that I may have missed. So there you have it. That is my first ever attempt at an unboxing video. Hopefully you found it helpful, and if you did, please give the video a like and maybe consider subscribing to the channel. It'd be awesome. Thanks. Anyway, that's it for today. I will see you on the next one.